Nice to meet you, Nick. It's a pleasure having you here.
Hey.
It is nice to meet you finally. I've heard an awful lot about you.
Hey.
It's a stubborn scourge that plagues even the best TV shows. One episode, a character is a familiar face at the dinner table. The next, they've vanished without a trace, and I don't mean the TV show from the 2000s either. No long hugs, no goodbye, not even a passing mention. Today we're diving into 10 TV characters from your favorite shows that disappeared with little to no explanation. It happened so fast it even has a name, Chuck Cunningham Syndrome, named after the OG vanishing act himself, Richie Cunningham's brother from Happy Days. So before anyone else disappears, go ahead and keep us around by liking and subscribing to our channel so we can keep the retro TV deep dives coming. And you'll want to stick around for number 1 because the character who gave this syndrome its name, well, his story finally makes a little bit more sense. Kind of. Number 10, Nick Moore, Family Ties.
Hey, Alex. Hey, you got some kind of insect on your upper lip there. Here, let me kill it. No!
You know what's wild about television? A leather-jacketed artist with a gruff voice can show up for one episode and completely hijack a hit show. That's exactly what happened with Nick Moore, Mallory Keaton's offbeat boyfriend played by Scott Valentine on Family Ties. He burst onto the scene in season 4, meant for a one-off appearance, but audiences couldn't get enough of him. NBC executives practically got dollar signs in their eyes. Valentine's character was such a breakout hit that the network scrambled to spin him off not once, not twice, but 3 times. First up was Taking It Home, where Nick moves back in with his grandfather, played by Herschel Bernardi. That one never made it to series. Bernardi tragically passed away before it could move forward, and then spin-off attempt number 2 was Nick working in a juvenile detention center. Yes, seriously. But the scripts didn't click, and the project quietly fizzled out. Finally, there was The Art of Being Nick, where our favorite struggling artist moved to New York to live with his sister and her son. It aired once, featured an appearance by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, pulled strong ratings, and then vanished. NBC simply passed. When The Art of Being Nick ended, Nick returned to Family Ties for the last time at the end of season 7. After that, Nick was just gone. No big send-off, no explanation, he simply just faded away. Behind the scenes, Family Ties was heading into its final season, and the producers decided they wanted to focus more on the immediate family to conclude the series, so goodbye Nick, or actually just disappear. But I want to know, does anyone else think it's weird that the network spent 2 years trying to give this guy his own show, then couldn't be bothered to write him a proper exit? Drop a comment if you were Team Nick or if you're glad he vanished. Scott Valentine continued acting before shifting gears into producing and business consulting. But for fans of 1980s TV, Nick Moore remains one of the great what could have been stories. Number 9, Tiffany Holloway, 227.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? How was school today?
Fine.
Yeah? Are you smarter today than you were yesterday?
In the golden age of NBC's must-see TV, even kid characters weren't safe from the mysterious TV void. Enter Tiffany Holloway, the sweet, shy daughter of Rose on 227, played by Kia Goodwin. Introduced in season 1, she was best friends with Brenda and part of the show's tight-knit neighborhood dynamic. The character fit right in. Rose was a loving single mom, Tiffany was the quiet counterbalance to Brenda's spirited energy, and the building residents, Mary, Marla Gibbs from The Jeffersons, and Sandra, played by Jackée Harry, acted as an extended family. By the way, yes, that's Oscar winner Regina King playing Mary's daughter Brenda. Anyway, back to Tiffany. After season 2, Tiffany just vanished. No dramatic exit, no send-off episode. She was never even written out, never given a storyline to explain her absence. She appeared in one episode of season 3 called The Sing-Off, then was gone for good. It was as if all of a sudden Rose had no daughter and no one cared. Seriously, imagine if your mom just stopped mentioning you existed. So, what happened? It wasn't storyline issues, it wasn't character development, it was real life. Kia Goodwin's mother didn't like living in California. NBC agreed to release the young actress from her contract and the two returned to New York. Just like that, Tiffany disappeared. What's fascinating is how the show never addressed it. No, Tiffany's at summer camp or Tiffany's staying with relatives. The 227 universe just collectively agreed to never mention this child again. It's like they thought if they didn't acknowledge her absence, viewers wouldn't notice a whole character had vanished. The rest of 227's core cast stayed through the final season, but Tiffany Holloway? She remains one of network TV's quietest disappearances. A girl who slipped out of the sitcom spotlight never to return. Anyone remember being confused when she suddenly wasn't there anymore? Number 8, Amy Amanda Allen, the A-Team.
I got a plan that'll keep us together.
Let's go. Jace could be dead already.
The A-Team was all about explosions, disguises, and cigar-chomping plans. What it wasn't about, apparently, was tactfully writing someone off the show. Landing at number 8 in our countdown, we have Amy Amanda Allen, better known as Triple A, not Triple H from the WWE. The civilian heart of the A-Team, played by Melinda Kulia. She burst onto the scene in the show's pilot, bringing brains, bravery, and a notepad to the bullet-riddled chaos. Amy was more than just a tag-along. She was the audience's eyes, a grounded perspective in this world of explosions, disguises, and cigar-chomping plans. But behind the scenes, things weren't nearly as smooth. Kulia wanted Amy to take a more active role, get in on the action, maybe fire a few rounds herself. The producers? Not so much. And then there was George Papard. The show's star really wasn't thrilled about sharing the spotlight. Rumor has it he believed the A-Team should be, well, just that, a team of men, no girls allowed in the clubhouse. This was still the era where network execs believed action shows needed a testosterone guarantee. Female leads were for dramas and sitcoms, not for shows with explosions and gunfights, okay? By the middle of season 2, Amy was gone. No farewell episode, no dramatic exit. One day she was in the van, the next she was on assignment in Jakarta. Just like that, AAA was MIA. NBC tried again with a new female character, Tawnia Baker, but lightning didn't strike twice or even once. She disappeared too. The show carried on, testosterone levels fully restored, but something was missing, and it remains that way. Imagine a world where AAA stuck around for a few more seasons. Would the A-Team have evolved beyond its formula? Would we have seen deeper character development, or would Papard have eventually pushed all his co-stars out the van door? Amy Amanda Allen remains one of TV's great vanishing acts, a promising character written out not by story, but by silence. Number 7, Julie Cooper, One Day at a Time.
Julie made the vest for me.
It's beautiful.
Well, I sold 2 designs last week.
At number 7 on our countdown, we have Julie Cooper, played by Mackenzie Phillips, whose disappearance from One Day at a Time left fans confused and concerned. Julie was the fiery, headstrong eldest daughter of Anne Romano, and from the start, she brought drama, depth, and complexity to the show. Her on-screen arc saw her marry Max Horvath and give birth to daughter Annie. But behind the scenes, Phillips was facing a much more turbulent journey. Substance abuse issues plagued her time on the series. She was fired after season 5, brought back in season 7, and then dismissed again early in the final season following a relapse. The show attempted to work around her absence, but just barely. Julie's comings and goings were addressed with little care. One moment she was back, separated and pregnant. The next, gone. No goodbye, no closure. A passing mention here, a letter there, and then nothing. She simply disappeared from the story. This has to be one of the few times where real-life drama was actually more interesting than what happened on screen. While viewers got vague references to Julie's absence, Mackenzie Phillips was fighting personal battles that wouldn't become public knowledge until years later. For a character once so central to the heart of the series, it was a jarring exit. Viewers were left with questions and silence. Julie Cooper's departure remains one of the most abrupt and underexplained in TV history. A quiet end to a loud presence. Do you think TV shows today would handle this kind of situation differently? Let us know in the comments. Number 6, Richie. 5, Martin Kendall, The Cosby Show.
What's happening, Captain? Son. Hey, Mom.
Now, the Huxtables might have been America's favorite TV family, but they sure had a strange way of dealing with in-laws who disappeared. At number 5 is Martin Kendall, played by Joseph Phillips on The Cosby Show. Introduced in season 6 as Denise Huxtable's surprise husband, Martin showed up with a daughter, a military background, and plenty of questions from Cliff and Claire. Over time, Martin found his place in the Huxtable household. He became a steady, supportive presence, earning the family's respect and popping in regularly throughout seasons 6 through 8. But then, just as quietly as he arrived, Martin disappeared. His final appearance came in the season 8 episode Olivia Comes Out of the Closet, which aired in November of 1991. After that, he was gone. Viewers were left scratching their heads. In the final season, Martin was stationed in Singapore and Denise went with him, but Olivia stayed with the Huxtables. Martin was occasionally mentioned but never seen again. It was one of those weird sitcom arrangements where a child's parents are mentioned to be living halfway around the world, but nobody seems that concerned about it. What's even stranger is that in the series finale, we learn Denise is pregnant with Martin's child through a phone call. Neither character actually appears on screen. Talk about a long-distance relationship. This was during NBC's reign as the king of Thursday night television, must-see TV they called it. With ratings that strong, they apparently figured viewers wouldn't notice or care about continuity issues like, oh, I don't know, an entire character disappearing? Joseph Phillips went on to a varied career in acting, commentary, and public speaking. But Martin Kendall remains one of primetime's strangest disappearances, a character who stepped into America's living rooms, then slipped out the back door with no goodbye. Number 4, Coco, the Golden Girls.
That's fine, Rose. You do that. I don't mind at all.
Sure, Rose. Set a place at the table.
Before there was a Sophia, there was a Coco. At number 4 in our countdown, we have television's briefest roommate, the Golden Girls' original 5th resident, played by Charles Levin. He debuted in the pilot as the quick-witted cook and confidant, but after one episode, Coco was gone. Talk about a short lease. So what actually happened? Well, behind the scenes, the show's producers were reshuffling the deck. Estelle Getty's Sophia Petrillo, originally written as a minor character, absolutely stole the show with test audiences. The decision was swift. Sophia was in full-time, and Coco was suddenly redundant. In the cutthroat world of 80s television, there simply wasn't enough room for two sassy characters delivering zingers in the Golden Girls' kitchen. One of them had to go, and it wasn't going to be the tiny Sicilian woman with a handbag full of one-liners. It didn't help that the pilot ran long over its time limit. To trim it down, many of Coco's scenes were cut, dulling his presence before he even had a chance to land. Years later, writer Stan Zimmerman reflected on Coco's disappearance. He admitted it was the right call for the show's chemistry, but regretted never getting to explore more of Coco's story. One scrapped idea even had him opening a bed and breakfast in Key West. But the show moved on, and so did audiences. Coco became a trivia answer, one of those forgotten TV footnotes lost in the shuffle of network decision-making. I wonder how many of you even remembered there was a 5th Golden Girl, even if it was just for one episode. Let us know in the comments section below. Number 3, 7, Married with Children.
This little Peggy never goes to market. And this little Peggy stays home.
Fox's edgy sitcom Married with Children spent years establishing the Bundys as America's most dysfunctional family. Then, in a moment of network insanity, they decided what this R-rated sitcom really needed was a cute kid? Crashing into our countdown at number 3, we have 7, the ill-fated addition to the Bundy clan in Season 7. Played by Shane Sweet, 7 was dropped on the Bundys by Peggy's cousins and quickly overstayed his welcome. The idea was to shake things up by expanding the dysfunctional household. The result was total disruption, though. 7's wide-eyed innocence clashed with the show's crude, unapologetic tone, and fans weren't buying it. Viewers rejected the character almost immediately. Hate mail poured in. Ratings started to slip. So what did Fox do? Well, they pulled the plug. After a few episodes, 7 simply disappeared without a word. No goodbye or plot resolution. He was just gone. It was like someone at Fox flipped through the network executive emergency handbook and followed the chapter titled, "When a New Character Bombs, Pretend They Never Existed." Well, almost. In a blink and you'll miss it gag later in the season, 7's face actually appeared on a milk carton marked missing, a perfectly twisted nod from a show that never took itself too seriously. This might be the only time a show actually acknowledged a character's mysterious disappearance with a joke about child endangerment. 7's exit became legendary for all the wrong reasons. A cautionary tale in sitcom history. He is a reminder that even the most outrageous shows have limits, and that sometimes less family is more. Raise your hand if you completely blocked 7 from your memory of this show. Number 2, Judy Winslow, Family Matters. Family Matters simply erased her without explanation. Today, Judy Winslow is remembered less for what she did on screen and more for the mystery of her disappearance, a case study in how television can rewrite its own reality overnight. Let us know in the comments if you think the Winslows win the award for worst TV parents ever for forgetting their own daughter existed. Number 1, Chuck Cunningham. Happy Days.
Enough of me, thanks. I gotta go.
Why is it that this family just can't sit together for 5 minutes after dinner and talk?
And now, the most infamous disappearance in TV history. At number 1 on our countdown, it's Chuck Cunningham, the older brother who walked up the stairs on Happy Days and never came back down. He's so legendary that the whole phenomenon is literally named after him. Now, we know what you're thinking. Wait, didn't Happy Days air in the 70s? Why is Chuck on this 80s and 90s list? Well, simple. He is the godfather of vanishing TV characters, and we make the rules. We couldn't do this countdown without including the OG who started it all. Chuck Cunningham Syndrome is the golden just poof, gone. The Cunninghams suddenly had only 2 kids, and Chuck, it was as if he never even existed. Behind the scenes, the writing was on the wall. O'Hurley left after season 1, later saying he didn't want to play a character who would grunt and bounce a basketball once every couple of weeks. Roberts stepped in, but the character never clicked with audiences. Meanwhile, Fonzie's leather-clad charm was turning him into the show's breakout star, with the spotlight shifting. Chuck became expendable. This is even stranger when you consider Happy Days was set in the 1950s, supposedly a time of traditional family values, yet here's a family that just simply forgot their older son. If this happened today, there'd be a 10-part true crime podcast about it. And we're looking at you, Serial. The fallout was a whole TV trope was born, Chuck Cunningham Syndrome, the term for when a character vanishes from a series without explanation, and the show acts like they never even existed. More than 50 years later, Chuck's disappearance remains the gold standard for TV vanishing acts, a reminder that sometimes the most lasting impact a character can have is in how completely they're forgotten. And that's a wrap, 10 TV characters who disappeared without a trace. Which of these blink and you miss them faces do you actually remember, and which one slipped under your radar? Or better yet, who did we forget? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed this trip down TV's strangest memory lane, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you're first in line for more forgotten gems and television oddities.